What's happening, financial coaches? It's Pete here. Want to talk to you today about why I am quitting financial coaching. And it's the same reason why I really encourage a lot of people to be doing it as a side hustle or part time. So, unlike some of the other things that I say where I feel like it's, I don't know, a certainty, this one is all about you, right? I mean, because people are different. People like different things, from jobs, from work. People expect different things. And so, for me, this is just kind of where I'm at. So when I first did a financial coaching session, it was 2011. It's now 2022. So just over 11 years ago. And it was in its infancy. And so there was a lot of learning. And like I said, we based a lot of this on health coaching and fitness coaching. And, at that time it was, very, very basic. And a lot of it was based on financial planning, which is the industry that I had come from before. So, I was really excited about it at the time. And, for a few years, it was really kind of building, trying, testing, revising. And it was a lot of work and in many ways exciting. And that's what I really liked about it. But as I got into financial coaching more and more, there was, it started to get a little repetitive. And so one of the things that I realized here is that someone had reached out to me with someone who wanted to do some financial coaching, and I'm not taking on any new financial coaching clients. And in fact, I am not passively trying to reduce my financial coaching work. I am actively trying to do it. So in fact, having conversations with people that maybe want to continue or have wanted to continue financial coaching and ask them if they really want to do that, or if they just feel obligation, or if it's a crutch in some ways, or if they really do, how can I best serve them by finding them, the right person, right? And finding them another financial coach. And in fact, when this referral came through, I was actually able to kind of ask what types of things they were working on, as well as the types of financial coaches they wanted to work with. And actually was able to make a referral to someone that I met here on the YouTube channel. So that was really awesome. And that's one of the big benefits of me doing this, is now being able to find people that I can partner up and refer to, because I'm not taking anyone on. And so back to the reasons why I'm doing that is because it became very repetitive. It's actually one of the negatives that I said in financial advising, in that a lot of your sessions, a lot of your meetings, appointments, consultations are very repetitive, because there's only a certain amount of headline news, especially as the economies kind of move up and down. Sometimes I was working with people in recession, which was like where we started in 2011. We were trying to work with people who were still stuck in the doldrums of the recession, struggling with unemployment, underemployment, budgeting, those types of things, getting out of debt. And we might be doing that again. And so, part of that is that when the economy's bad, a lot of the conversations seem pretty similar. When the economy is good, many of the conversations seem pretty similar. So it was very repetitive. The one that was the most, influential to me here is the fact that, too, it demanded full engagement. And people can probably balance this a little differently, or they feel different about going into a financial coaching session. But for me, when I was about to get on the phone or get on a Zoom call or go into a meeting or a conference room or an office with a financial coaching client, I just wanted to be the best coach I could be. And that meant being ready to go, and even if I wasn't going to be doing a lot of talking, I was doing a lot of active listening. And it can be a little stressful because, especially if it's someone new, you've got a lot of information to listen to. You've got to kind of read between the lines, kind of peel back the layers of the onion, whatever it might be. And so there's a lot of work to kind of do that delicately, to be elegant, to be tactful about it. And even if it's someone that you've worked with for a decent amount of time, sometimes you have to read the history of it, your notes from the meetings before, or whatever it might be, the prep time. And you really want, at least I really wanted to be able to go in there and give it my best, so that if there was something that we could use as a eureka moment, that we'd be able to discover it. I didn't want to miss some of those opportunities. The part of my biggest problem was always being paranoid that there was going to be something that could have really turned the tides for them, and I just missed it, and it dawns on me later. And so I really wanted to be full engagement. So it was very taxing, even to be in a meeting for 30 minutes, an hour, sometimes 2 hours, and just really trying to be fully engaged through that whole time. And then when you multiply that by the number of times that you met with people, like I said, on average, I was really trying to target 5 to 8 meetings a day. And some days, because like I can tell you that sometimes I'd go on site to a place, be hired to do a presentation, and then do the presentation, and then try to meet with as many people within the window of time. Maybe I was going to be there a day or even 2 days afterwards, but promising that, hey, I wanted to do some on-sites with anyone who had questions, wanted to kind of kick off financial coaching right away. And so there were times where on Monday I'd be speaking for 30, 40, 50 minutes at a conference or a gathering, and then Tuesday I would have 20, 22 coaching sessions that would run all day. Wednesday, kind of the same thing, just try to get everyone that wanted to get a taste of coaching or get started on coaching that opportunity. And I can tell you, I would be wiped out by the end of that second day. It's just, it was really taxing for me. And so, especially when you're trying to keep up the pace of doing it full time or as your only job, doing 5 sessions a day can start to feel like a lot, and doing 8 sessions a day can start to feel overwhelming. In fact, throughout the year, I would actually survey my own coaches. I just say, what number is very manageable in terms of number of appointments a day? What number is a little bit stressful, and what number is very stressful? And I would just track those numbers, and sometimes it'd be 5 or 8 or 6. And the topic really depends, and the type of people you get, the amount of education or information that they already have can really affect that. But for most people, 5 to 6 was still pretty manageable, but beyond that, it really started to get taxing. And so I tried to maintain that, and it can be hard to do that. For example, on one day, I remember that I only had 5 sessions. I thought, hey, that's not going to be that bad. But one of them was at 6:30. It was an East Coast client that wanted to do it before work. And then it was at 10 o'clock. And then I had one over lunch from 12 to 12:30, and then 12:30 to 1:30. And then I didn't have the last ones until 5 o'clock, and then 7:30 at night. So even though there were only, I think, 5 sessions on that day, it really drew out the day, right? And it made it a very long day. And the time in between, you're kind of thinking about it. And in some ways, it's easier to have 8 sessions that are instantly back to back. You just don't have time to transition out of that mindset and then get back into it. You're kind of working at a fast pace, and the time can actually fly by pretty quickly. So it's just one of those things where it can be mentally taxing. It can be a difficult job. The other piece for me is it's very hard to scale this. So probably the one lever I can move on this or pull on this is raising my rates. So, I can't split my time. I can't clone myself. I mean, I guess there probably is the technology to do that, but no one would want to of me. So it's hard to become more efficient at it. Obviously at the very beginning, you might be spending 10 minutes before a session and 15 minutes after a session preparing, and then debriefing and prepping for your next one or something like that. And maybe that gets down to a couple minutes when you get experience, but that's not a huge amount of time. You're not taking an 8-hour day and turning it into a 3-hour day. So it's pretty hard to scale. Now you can start going from $50 an hour to $100 an hour to $150 to $200 to $400. I know some coaches that charge $1,000 because they really don't want to do it, and they, to be honest, they're using the price as a barrier to hiring them. And some people see that as, wow, they must be really, really good, and they get their clients at $1,000 an hour, which is kind of funny to me. So I don't do that, but you can kind of scale up your income that way. But for me, over the years, I've been obviously building a number of other things, whether it's different income streams and things like that. And as they have started to grow, I've had less time for financial coaching, but then financial coaching tends to be one of the roles that doesn't compensate me as well as some of the other ones. Now, that's obviously going to depend on a lot of people, and your main job may be compensating you far more than the financial coaching will ever, or, your rental income or something like that. But, it's one of those things where I just found it hard to scale. And as other things were scaling up, it's one of those areas of time that I was able to rob so that I could dedicate more time to some of the other things. And then lastly, I realized here as I was working with people and some of the coaches that used to work for me who are out on their own and those types of things, is that my time, I think, is more valuable to encourage, train, and share my information with other newer, more motivated coaches, people who are just kind of getting into this business, some people that have a fire and a passion for helping out people. And, it may not be their whole life, in some ways it will probably be their whole life, but it doesn't necessarily have to be financial coaching. But for some of those people who are in the business building side of it right now, who are looking for side hustle or to build a business over the next few months or years, those types of things, I would rather share my knowledge completely open book here in terms of how I did coaching, the people I worked with, the business model, the systems, whatever it might be, the highs and lows of it, the reasons I got into it, got out of it, took time off from it, came back to it, whatever it might be, the courses I've built or the digital resources, whatever it is, I want to share those as much as possible so that the people who are doing it for the first time, spend as little time preparing and wasting time in many ways on administrative or menial or obscure business tasks, and really are able to focus and spend and dedicate their time to true financial coaching, because that's where the rubber meets the road. That's where you're going to make a difference in people's lives. And sometimes, in most cases, you don't need the fancy business card or the logo or the website or the worksheets or any of that. You just need a few minutes with someone to figure out how to get them unstuck, how to get them to see the light, how to get them pointed in the right direction, right? Get them out of the fog and above the clouds, show them the light at the end of the tunnel so they stop walking in the walls, whatever it might be. And sometimes, just even in a few minutes, you can make a life-changing decision or point for them. And sometimes you can spend months, weeks, hours spending that time building resources that don't do anything. So what I want to do here is just really help people get focused and focused on the right things, and working with people and hopefully changing lives in their finances. So that's really what I wanted to do. I wanted to kind of get out of the repetitive. I wanted to help myself mentally by not always being in this 100-mile-per-hour full engagement mindset all the time, and wanted to for me, focus on things that were a little bit more scalable, things that I could do longer term, and then honestly kind of hand off any of the knowledge or the experiences that I built to other people. So that's why I haven't quit entirely. That may be a little bit of clickbait. I haven't stopped financial coaching entirely, but I have limited my financial coaching to some of the clients and friends that I really want to do it with, and I am not building that business. So especially if you are here on the channel, engage with me and we've gotten to know each other, and if you're one of the people that I can refer out to, I would be happy to do that, because anyone that comes inbound to me, I am going to be referring out, trying to get them connected with someone who is equipped and excited about working with them. So hopefully that helps you, and I will see you later. Bye.